What's up guys, my name is Lauren and welcome back to my channel where we talk about money and mindset as well as my family's own journey to pay off six-figure debt. So if you like videos like that, then make sure you hit that red subscribe button. Today we're talking money advice I wish I could have given my younger self. So I've made some major money mistakes along the way and I wish I could just go back and tell my younger self not to do these things, but mistakes are unavoidable, like that's part of the learning process. So I thought I'd share with you guys today some things I wish I could have told my younger self, money advice I would have given my younger self. So in case you have not made the missteps I have made at this point and you have an opportunity to avoid them, then hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and avoid them yourself. Okay, so the first piece of advice that I would give my younger self is to start investing immediately. I started working at age 15 and I didn't start seriously investing until age 33. That is 18 years of lost time of investing. And the thing is with investing, time in the market is so important. The longer your money is invested, the more it has time to grow and compound on itself. And it's just like the power of compound interest can't be understated because it just grows on itself and grows and grows and grows. And so really, even if you're investing a small amount, like such a small amount, it can really make a big difference down the road. And just start investing as early as possible. And I know that like, I always felt like, well, I don't really have much money and it's not gonna make a difference, or I'm in so much debt, I don't want to invest, I feel like it's a waste. But really, unless you have like crazy high interest debt, like credit card debt or something like that, like you're gonna make more money investing in the long term if you put the money into investments versus paying off debt. And even if you don't, I feel like just getting used to investing, getting comfortable with investing, getting like in the habit of investing is so valuable, even if it's just a small amount. Like it makes a big difference. So yeah, I wish I would have put even like $25, $50, $100 a month into an investment account starting when I started working at age 15 and just let it sit there and grow and forget about it, because future me would have really appreciated that. But the thing is, we can't go back in time. Everyone wishes they started investing earlier once they find out the benefits of investing. So yeah, I wish I could have started investing earlier, but if you are not investing now and you feel like you can't afford it, like again, $25 a month, start there. Like it doesn't have to be a crazy amount. Get comfortable with investing, get informed about investing, educated. It seems intimidating at first, but there's really such good information out there. My favorite book on investing is The Simple Path to Wealth. I will put a picture of it right here and I will link it in the video description. It is written by J.L. Collins and he wrote it originally as a series of letters to his teenage daughter about investing, everything he'd want her to know, and then turned it into a book down the road. And it's just so approachable, straightforward, common sense, like has the best information. If you feel like investing is intimidating, read this book and it will just break down everything you need to know and really simplify things. Like you really only need to know maybe like 5 or 6 key points to be able to invest, and the rest of it is just like noise and you can ignore all of it. Like it's just, anyway, so yes, invest early, often. Just I wish I could have invested earlier, but we're investing now and that's all we can do. All right, the next piece of advice I would have given my younger self is spend less than you make. Okay, so it's hard when you're in school because you're taking on debt. And so from age like 18 to 25 for me. Wait, is that right? Yeah. I started college at age 18 and I graduated law school at age 25. I just turned 25 when I graduated law school. That's 8 years where I was making some money, but I was really taking on debt. College, I wasn't taking on much debt, but for law school, I was taking on a ton of debt. And those are really formative years for just, you're out on your own for the first time and you're figuring out life and money. And like at that point, I didn't have really an opportunity to spend less than I was making, especially during law school, because I was taking on like tens of thousands of dollars of debt every single month. And I was using some of the loans for living expenses because you can't work full time when you're in law school. It's just like they don't even let you the first year. And then after that, they recommend only part-time. And so that's what I did. I didn't work the first year of law school and then I worked part-time after that. But I went to law school in Los Angeles and they only gave us like $20,000 a year to live on. Like it was, anyway. So yeah, it's really hard to spend less than you make if you're in school. So I get that. But the thing is, once you start making money, don't just be like, well, I've always been taking on debt, so let me just continue down that route. Like, spend less than you make. Even if you start off making a little bit of money and like not the salary you will eventually make, just live below your means. Because if you don't, you will continue taking on more and more debt, and then you won't have anything extra to put towards financial goals like debt payoff and investing and savings for an emergency funds and all these really wonderful things that provide such peace of mind and such like just peace of mind for your life, knowing you're building net worth by investing and you're paying down your debt and getting those debts cleared out of your life and off your like shoulders stress wise, and that emergency fund for a rainy day when things go wrong with your car or your house or whatever. Like, it's just all so critical. So yeah, spend less than you make, don't take on new debt. And it's hard because again, like let's say you're moving out, you need first month's, last month's, and security deposit for rent, and then you need to furnish an entire apartment. So you need like a mattress, you need a table, you need silverware. Like all this stuff really is expensive and it adds up. But if there's any way you can save up for these things and not go into debt to like move out and just keep up your lifestyle of like going out to eat with friends and stuff, like do it in a way that's sustainable based on what you make, that will be like, you'll be in such a good position. All right, my next tip for my younger self is don't carry credit card debt. So if you want to build up your credit, putting small amounts on a credit card and paying it off like within the same month is a great way to do that. And it takes discipline to stay on top of it and not build up credit card debt, because credit cards are very tempting, but at the same time, a credit score can be really important. And so I understand the need to build credit, and I think it's important to have a good credit score. With that said, if you spend more on your credit card than you can pay off in the same month, you are going to pay interest on that, and credit card interest is so insane. Like, if you have credit card debt and you haven't looked at the interest rate, like go dig into it and figure out what it is, because it's probably between like 15 and 25% interest, and that is really, really high. Like, compare that to what mortgages are. A mortgage right now, you can get like maybe a 3 or 4% interest mortgage. So compare that to 25% interest, like it just is astronomical. You're paying so much on that purchase. And especially those cards where it's like, oh, you're at Old Navy. If you open a card, you'll save 15% today. Well, okay, great. I'll save $40 today. But then if you build up a balance on that card, then you're going to be paying way more than $40 in interest on that purchase. And like, it's not going to save you money. Credit card companies are the winners when it comes to credit cards. They are making more money than people are making off of credit cards. So be so careful with credit cards. Don't carry a balance. It's just so expensive. And if you are going to buy something that you can't afford to pay off in the same month on a credit card, calculate that into the purchase. So, okay, you're making a purchase for $100 and there is 25% interest. If you don't pay off that $100 within a year, that purchase will be $125. So you just like think of that when you're buying something and say, is this worth that price? The premium I'm paying by putting on a credit card. All right, the next tip I would have for my younger self is set financial goals even if they seem unattainable. So for a long time, my husband and I kind of like ignored our student loans, not ignored them. We knew they were there and we were paying the minimum payments, but we just felt so overwhelmed by them that we're just like, I can't formulate a plan. I can't even deal with it. We're just gonna pay the minimum, and the minimum at that point, because we were both on income-based repayment, meant that it wasn't even covering the interest every month. So the balance of our student loans kept going up and up and up every single month for many years, especially on mine, because my husband graduated in 2017, but I graduated in 2012. So for many years, the balance on our student loans continued to go up. And in a big way, it was because I felt like I have no idea how we're gonna pay these off. Like, I just don't see a way out. So I didn't even set a goal to try to figure it out. And if I had set a goal to try to figure it out, I feel like we would have figured it out sooner, because when you set a goal, even if you don't hit it, it pushes you to try and makes you start to believe like maybe it's possible. So set financial goals even if they seem unattainable, because once we set a goal to get all of our debt paid off, we started making huge progress on it. Like, once we decided, okay, I don't care, we're gonna figure out a way to do it, we figured out a way to do it. And since we started paying off debt in January 2020, we have paid off over $125,000 of debt in like just over 2 years. So don't discount big goals, because they seem unattainable, just set them and see what you can get done, because you may surprise yourself. All right, the next thing I wish my younger self would have known is that impulse shopping will not make you happier. So for a long time, I felt very stressed out about our money situation, and I just thought that like there was no way we were gonna get in a better situation. And so I used spending money and shopping and buying things like consumer goods, like, you know, clothes and home decor and stuff like that, as a way to deal with those emotions that I was having and other emotions that I was having unrelated to money. And it just never worked. Like, it just didn't. Like, certain things I bought that I really, really enjoyed and got a lot of use out of, but there were so many things that I bought that just like sat in the closet or sat in a drawer and never really got that much use out of, and just made me happier for a brief period in time, and then that happiness was fleeting and it didn't really do anything, and then I was out the money. And then especially when I would put it on a credit card that we couldn't afford to pay off, then we were just paying interest on it. It was just such a waste. So just know that buying things, like, that's a bucket with a hole in the bottom. Like, you'll never be able to fill that if you're using shopping to fill an emotional need, and like just go to therapy instead, or like figure out some other better, healthier way to deal with the emotions you're having. Don't rely on impulse spending to try to fill that emotional need. I feel like this is a problem a lot of people have, and so I don't necessarily feel like I'm behind with figuring this out. I think I'm actually ahead of a lot of people. Like, for all the different stuff we've done wrong, I think like a lot of people struggle with this for many, many years or their whole life. So I do feel like it's something I wish I could have told my younger self, but just because you tell your younger self something doesn't mean it's gonna click. And I just don't think that would have clicked for me until I got into my 30s. And now in my 30s, like, I was ready to look at that and ready to deal with certain emotional stuff. And so yeah, if you're not there yet, like, don't be hard on yourself, but I'm glad that I'm here now and not wasting money on impulse shopping that's not making me any happier. All right, and then my last tip is don't take on student loans because you're trying to make anybody else happy. Like, going to law school, in retrospect, was something I wasn't totally doing for myself. I was partially doing it for me, but in a big way doing it for other people because I thought that's what they wanted and I needed to do to make them proud. And so yeah, don't take on hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt because you think that's something that other people want you to do. And trust your own gut when it comes to making these big financial decisions like taking on student loans. Because if you feel like college or grad school or something isn't right for you, then like, you're the one whose name is on those loans. You're the one that's gonna have to pay them back. And so like, at the end of the day, regardless of any other circumstance, like, your name and social security number is tied to that debt. So don't let anybody else's opinion or thoughts about what's right for you get in the way of your own thoughts about what's right for you. Because take it from me, if you don't trust your gut on that, you may end up in a situation where you have all these student loans, you try out the career for a while, you realize you were right all along and you hated it, and you still have to pay the student loans back. So like, for me, I practiced as an attorney for 6 years, hated law school, hated working as an attorney, and then left the profession and now do YouTube full time. And I love YouTube and it's amazing, but it was a huge pay cut and I still have all these student loans to pay back. So just like, college and grad school can be a great decision if you are so passionate about something and you know in your heart this is what you want to do with your life. If somebody's trying to talk you out of it, don't listen to them necessarily. Like, oh, don't take on these student loans because it's going to be a bad decision, you're going to be in so much debt. Like, don't listen to that either if you know it is the right thing for you to take on student loans. Just basically, when it comes down to it, I wish I could have just told myself, like, listen to your gut, trust your gut more than what other people's opinions are. Because at the end of the day, like, it's your life and you know what's going to make you happy best than anyone else does. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about financial advice I wish I could have given my younger self, and you benefit from some of these. If there's anything you wish you could have told your younger self about money, finances, budgeting, debt, any of that, then comment below. I'd love to hear what you guys think a younger version of yourself could have benefited from hearing. If you like this video, as always, give it a big thumbs up. It really helps on my channel. And if you want to see more videos like this from me, then hit that red subscribe button down there. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and I'll see you guys soon in my next video. Bye.